Okay, so today we continue with our class Laws of Shabbos. Today's class number 63. All right, let me start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And today's topic, the big topic is the same toeles. Toeles, we said, for constructive purpose, for the victim's benefit. Okay, so today's topic, psychological and emotional damage. An important area of speech, which is considered constructive, is that which helps to relieve someone's psychological and emotional damage caused by others. It is permissible for anyone who is suffering emotional and emotionally and psychologically to seek appropriate help, even if this involves discussions of people and events that would otherwise constitute Lashon Hara. If possible, names should be omitted, only pertinent information should be shared. So it's a general approach. I mean, you see somebody is in stress, somebody like, I don't know, in a very bad shape. You understand? So it's not like many times, no, not many, sometimes. Okay, I'll tell you this. So sometimes people ask me, tell me stuff, and I said, so what's your question? I mean, okay. But how can I help you, right? And many times there is no action. They're not asking me a question, or they don't looking for guidance. They just state the situation, you know, to unburden themselves. So in this case, if you're in that position, so you're allowed to listen. Of course, you don't take 100% everything as 100% of the truth. You put under the doubt, but it's not. The point is that you're allowed to listen, to help the person with his or her emotional and psychological things. That's the thing. Okay. I mean, if a person is under this condition constantly and nothing basically positive, and all of the around him or her like negative people, and that's maybe a little too much. You understand? But with most of the normal people, okay, you have ups and downs. Sometimes you go depressed and stuff like that. You go up, you go down. There is no problem, right? But other people, whoever just like to speak about other people, that's not appropriate. Basically, continue. Chofetz Chaim speculates that it may be considered constructive for a person troubled by the issue of unburdening himself to someone, even if only to relieve himself of stress. Obviously, this applies to especially difficult situation and not to daily daily things of life. So basically, I mean, it's not strictly in halacha, right? But he said, yeah. So I mean, he didn't find this clear source for this in halacha, but he deduces from all other statements of our Chachamim that you're allowed to help somebody, because this emotional stress, it's a lot. It's very painful. Okay. So, all right. So let's see. Those of Shabbos. All right. So Baruch Hashem, we're on page 388, and Baruch Hashem, we start a new melacha that is called cutting, right? Mechatev. Okay. The melacha of cutting is one of the 39 avos melachos. Like all avos melachos, the melacha of mechatev derived from the activity performed in the construction of the Mishkan, namely the cutting of the animal heights to size. So that's all of this cutting to size, meaning what? This toilet paper. Right, it's one of the things that we are not allowed, as we know, to cut for perforation. All of this, like bounty, like paper, and others, like what is it? Like thin foil, right? So we're not allowed to cut. So all of this fall under this prohibition. So it's very, as we see, like from few examples that we just mentioned, it's a very big application in every Shabbos. Number 2 definition. Melacha of cutting is defined as cutting, tearing, chopping, or breaking an item in order to bring it to specific size or shape. So specific size or shape especially like with toilet paper and this what is it? With everything, with like this thin foil, for sure. You need a specific size. You wanna wrap whatever it is for a piece of food that you wanna wrap, or you wanna cover the container like as a lid, so the food inside is not going to dry get dry in the refrigerator. So of course you cut in for specific size. Okay.
Question here.
Yes.
About the cutting, it was a leniency about cutting in an unusual way when you need to cut, for example, how do you say the cook paper? I'm not sure how to say that.
No, not cooking paper. You mean paper for what?
For kitchen.
For kitchen, yeah, paper towels. Right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, no, this is no. Okay, so let's proceed, and we're going to go on into details and practical applications. So basically, I would say that the greatest case of need, as you said, right, would be the toilet paper. So you need to go to the restroom. You need that. So in this end, we're going to see there are some exception how to do that. That's true. But with this paper towel, it's not true. For example, what we use napkins, regular napkins that are folded. So during the week we use this paper towel, as you said. But on Shabbos we use these napkins. So they all of the separate. You don't have to tear anything. But if some people prefer to use paper towel because of course they are more absorbent and better. There's no question about it. So they just prepare and tear before Shabbos, whatever they need, 5 sheets, 10, whatever, 20, whatever they need, and that's it. So basically, we prepared these things on Shabbos. Okay. Any other questions or continue?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's say I have a bowl. So what's it called? The area is going to be, I don't know, 30 inches. Okay, let's say. Okay. Now let's say I get tinfoil right. It's going to be 100 inches. Okay, 200, 500, whatever you want to say. Okay. My question is, does that count as height to a specific size? Now, why do I say this? Because we don't want it to be less than the bowl, right?
Exactly.
So it still counts as size. It still counts as
exactly. That's that specific size. So it's where you wrap around the edges. Absolutely, that's a specific size.
Understand.
Okay, yeah. Good question. Okay, so let's continue. Number 3. So if any questions, stop me. Number 3, necessary conditions for melacha apply. There are several requirements that must be fulfilled before an act of cutting can qualify as a Torah violation of the melacha of cutting. They are. So now we're talking on a Torah level. One must cut the object to exact size or shape. Okay. B. So this would be 100% this toilet paper and paper towels, right? It's exact size or shape. B. The purpose for cutting must be to enable the object to be used. Toilet paper, paper towels, 100%. C. One must employ the methods of cutting usually employed by the object at hand. So you have perforation. That's how we cut. We cut with hand. We don't need scissors and stuff like that. So basically, from this you learn. So if you take scissors, for example, it's not usual. Or you take a knife, it's not usual way of cutting. Okay. D. It must be detached object. So meaning when. Just a second. Okay. So meaning when you cut off, so it's like a separate object. High order. So we're learning about cutting to specification, right? So example of cutting would be like, as we said, toilet paper, like to specification exactly. Some paper towels. Okay, continue. We will elucidate these requirements. A. Cutting to exact. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one, A. Please explain to me A.
No, but A is that's where we're going to go one by one now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to explain as we go. So A, so one must cut the object to exact size or shape. So exact size, as we said, the paper towel, it's exact size. All of them are the same, right? But let's go into details. So it says one requirement is that the person must cut or tear or chop. So it basically does not matter how you get the shape, the size. Must cut or tear or chop the item to a specific size. For example, one who cuts a piece of paper to the measure is a certain number of inches, or who cuts the picture out of the larger piece of paper, has violated the melacha of cutting. Or very interesting example. So you have, I don't know, like have a picture in a newspaper, or in magazine, whatever, right? And then you cut the picture out of that piece. Of course, you destroying the letters, but we're not talking about that, right? So you cut to specification, right? Around the picture. That's amazing example, I think. If, however, one cuts an item to the approximate size, he has not violated melacha of cutting, meaning on the biblical level. Accordingly, if one cuts a piece of paper merely to reduce the size, but not but no particular size in mind for the finished product, he has not transgressed the melacha. See below concerning rabbinic prohibition. So rabbinic prohibition is different. So just before we continue, this would be like some people, they need to do something with their hands, right? And they would play with napkins, right? I mean, on Shabbos table, and they would cut, like, tear little pieces of napkins. Use napkins, right? That's already an issue. Of course, it's not.
Question.
Go ahead.
Because I have this question long ago. Isn't a scissor mukse on Shabbos?
No. Mm-mm. No.
I thought because since it is a tool for working, for example, it would be mukse for Shabbos. I thought.
No. Okay. So what is okay. So we didn't get to the mukse part yet, but we're feeding like pieces in the time, because it's a huge topic. I don't want to go deep into details, but I give you summary. So some things that have no application for Shabbos whatsoever. I give you example. Drill. You have drill, electric drill, right? You cannot use it for sure. Or you have your laptop, your computer. There is no usage. But scissors is different. Right, scissor is never muktzah. Why? Because you can use it for example, for food preparation. You can open packages, right? So you have package in a plastic bag, so you can cut through the plastic bag. So and it's actually when we are learning the laws of melacha of sewing, right? And we say one of the way of sewing, right, is when they glue shut, right? They put glue. So it's not allowed to separate the sides, right? Of like chips, potato chips, cookies. Like, you're not allowed to like separate. No, you have to take scissors and cut this piece. Of course, you don't try not to destroy the letters, and that's it. And same with other things.
One more little thing about that. Is the cutting in an unusual way?
No. In a food preparation,
straight line.
No. In a food preparation, for if you need something from the package, you cut it to destroy. You don't need the package. I need the contents of the package. I don't care what shape is it. You understand? So when you tear this paper towel, it's hard for you to not to tear not a perforation. You understand? Or you tear this toilet paper. But and you care, so it would be like if this let's say paper towel, it's supposed to be like this one sheet, right? So you would not be satisfied with a small piece of it, right? That's not good. So basically, that piece, the regular piece, it's the most perfect one. You understand? But so you need, in your mind, it's there is specific size. But when you have these food packages, you have cookies, you have whatever you have, you just cut any like well, when there is no lettuce, and you throw it out. You don't care about this. You understand? And plus, there is special scissors that they use for food preparation, right? So you can cut many things. So you can cut through meat, and I don't know. You can cut fish and other things with the scissors. Of course, it's not regular scissors, but you get the point. Any other questions? Yeah. Go ahead.
Over here, they say the word approximately. Now, in the scenario that I gave you, the 30 cubic inches,
Yes.
that's not considered approximately?
No, it is approximately, exactly. So it's not biblical, but it is rabbinic prohibition. Okay. So I apologize. It's a good point. I didn't mention, but yes. So, but that's exactly what you need. You approximately, meaning if your food be like half an inch smaller, it's not going to be good, right? You need to cover. But if it would be like a little more on the sides, you're fine. So it's not exactly approximate. You have minimum requirement. I would put it this way. Okay. So continue. Cutting apart pre-shaped and pressured, pre-shaped or pressured objects. Okay, so we're going to see what does it mean. Okay, we have explained that melach of cutting requires person to cut an object to a specific size or shape. Okay, specific size or shape. Okay, to this we now add that a single object, an act of cutting, must give a new size or shape. For example, if one does, as one does, when he cuts a single piece of cloth into precisely shaped pieces. Okay, so let's finish and we're going to explain. However, if all the acts of cutting accomplish a separate two previously defined independent object, each with each own size and shape, it does not violate the melach of cutting. For example, tearing a leaf from the branch. Even while attached, both leaf and a branch are considered recognizably individual objects. So it's not like I mean, even though they're attached, but they two separate objects, each possessing particular shape. So. So leaf and branch, two particular shape. It's not allowed to tear off the leaf. Just it's going to be plucking. But we continue. They just try to bring out the point. So one more time, each possessing particular shape that does not change when they are separated. So basically, when you separated the leaf from the branch, so leaf is staying shape of leaf and branch is staying in shape of branch. Okay. Since the act of cutting does not create a new shape, so meaning like if you tear from this paper towel, right, the paper towel roll. So let's say it was a roll for two sheets, right, and you cut only one. So automatically the shape or whatever of the paper towel changes, right? It's now like shorter by the size whatever we tear off. So it's not so it's visible that shape changed, but here the shape did not change when you separate this leaf from the branch. Since this act of cutting does not create a new shape or object, it's not biblically forbidden under the prohibition of cutting. Another example would be a tearing of a button from the garment. Since both button and garment are separate and defined object, even while attached, tearing them apart does not violate the biblical prohibition of cutting. Okay, so I mean, I'm not sure. It's what he said. It's a little confusing because we learned before is that we have the melach of sewing, right? And sewing is when you attach to even like different objects like this this button to the shirt. So now that they say there is no problem, I mean there is no biblical issue because why? Because those are separate objects, right? There is separate object. If somebody would cut, for example, piece of sleeve, right? The short sleeve that would be biblical, right? Because now the shirt looks different, but and a piece of original shirt, but button is not. So basically, it's not allowed by the what is it? By the rabbinical decree. I mean, right now we discuss biblical, but for sure it's not allowed by rabbinical.
Right, Rabbi, over here, I think when he says that it doesn't violate, he's talking specifically about the malach of cutting, meaning, for example, let's say I said that, I don't know, writing on a piece of paper doesn't violate the malacha of slaughtering. You wouldn't say that, oh, but it violates writing, right? So I think it's the same thing over here.
Okay. That's okay. That's also I felt, but I mean, at the end of the day, okay. So you're right. So I think we're going to say that it is forbidden rabbinically, for sure. So why? Because as we said, the shape did not change, right? And those are two individual items. I mean, they're combined together, but two individual items. Okay, continue. Okay, so it was A. So now we're going to this condition B, and B was cutting to enable the object to be used. So basically, before that cutting is you would not be able to use it. Now, after you cut it, you are able to use it. So let's see what's going on. A second condition concerning the intent or purpose behind the act of cutting. Even a person cuts an object to the exact shape or size, he is not violated melach of cutting unless the purpose of the cutting is to make the object usable, right? So I like as we said before, all of this in order to be melacha, be under the biblical level, it should be for constructive purpose. So meaning that you cut it for some usage. So basically, if somebody is playing with a napkin at the Shabbat table and rips off the pieces of it, so it's not for constructive purpose. So it's not allowed, but it's not biblical for sure.
So cutting a bounty would be a d'oraisa, you would say, to wash it?
Yes.
So my question is like this. Listen, I don't really need to cut it. It's not a constructive purpose. Why? Because I can just put it in the bounty. So maybe it's just a d'rabanan. And the only reason I do it is dafka to throw it out, not because productive. The only reason I cut it is to be able to throw that one piece out.
I would say if you like technically, right? So if you wanna like wipe something at this boundary, so you don't have to cut it. Just leave it on the roll, right? So you wash your hands and you wipe it in the first one and in the first sheet, right? And then you wash an apple. Now you want to eat apple, unroll, wipe on the second one without ripping, without cutting. You understand? So it's not necessary to cut technically. You just leave it there. So it's not muktzah because there is a like practically possible that you might use it. But other people say, other rabbis say it is a muktzah. Why? Because many people they will forget and do whatever they do on a weekday, and they would cut a piece. Yeah, you understand? So that's clearly like a fence around the melach.
Well, either way, it's still a derisa, we're saying, right?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, actually, I want to ask you, over here we see when it's two, going back to, let's say, the leaf and the tree, right? Because we see two distinctly different pieces. It's only the abundant. It's not going to be what's called the derisa b'chlal. So my question is like this, but you can also see two distinctly different pieces in regards to bounty, no?
No. Here is like one big shape, and as I say, you cut off one, so the shape is changes. It's becomes shorter. Of course, you can fix it. You can unroll more, but at that point, after you cut, the shape change, right? But visibly, but there the shape does not change. You have leaf is always separate, and branch is always separate. But of course, as I said before, it's not allowed to cut. First of all, because it's attached to the ground, so it's different melacha. But okay, but we got the point. I'm not sure why he took this melacha, because it's a reaping, right? We say you're not allowed to reap or whatever is attached to the ground. Okay, but whatever is it, where we got the point. Continue. For example, one who chops firewood for a particular size that fits the stove has violated the melacha of cutting, since his intention in cutting to the size that was made the wood usable. By contrast, a person who is idly cutting paper. Okay, so before we got to this cutting out of there, so here's a thing that I think that this example about wood is very similar to what David was saying about this thin foil to cover the vessel, right? So that there is a specific size, the minimum size that he had in mind. So when he was cutting for this the tin foil, and here he also has a specific size, no more than. There, in the David's case, we said no less than, and here we said no more than that it can fit in a stove.
Rabbi, would you say this is also not the best example because we have a problem with making a fire on Shabbos?
Actually, you're allowed to make a fire on Shabbos. So we say when there is a life danger, and where is a life danger? When it's very cold. So I think we discussed it before, but I'm going to remind you. So in what we used to do when we didn't have like automated heat and stuff like that. So we would ask a non-Jew, and non-Jew would come like in the winter Shabbos, I don't know, morning, afternoon, and he would fire up the stove for everybody, right? Why was it allowed? Because we said that when it's too cold, it's a life danger, especially when you have elderly people or weak people or small children. For sure, they can get sick, and chas v'shalom, they can die very, very fast. So it was considered to be actually a life danger. In the case of the life danger, you're allowed to break the Shabbos, but to make it violation is less than possible. So you can ask a non-Jew, and he can do it for you, and then you give him a gift, basically. So it was in olden days in Europe, so it would be like a fundraising, right? And they would give this non-Jew like money, and this non-Jews were very happy with their job, and actually they would pass it from generation to generation. So it was like it was a job they would pass from father to son, and it's like be close to HaShem, and right, even though they did not believe in HaShem, but what doesn't make any difference. They would get the blessing for helping Jews on Shabbos. That's so it was allowed to make fire on Shabbos for sure.
Right, but why would that still be a good example? Because then I don't have to worry about this halacha b'chlal. I can do it if it's pikuach nefesh. I'm not thinking. I'm not. It's a mitzvah, pretty much. You're not supposed to think.
Don't play with the pen or whatever you're playing with. Okay, now go ahead.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's you're not supposed to be thinking about this measurement or that measurement or anything when it's pikuach nefesh. You're supposed to just do it.
When it's pikuach nefesh, 100%. You do what needs to be done. You're right, 100%. Yes.
I understand. Okay.
But here, why would he cut the wood? So sometimes I think he gives this a little abstract example sometimes. So, but we all, I mean, you see the problem is the author just give us example. It's it's a good example. We can envision it, but he did not say there is a exception. So firewood, it would be muksa basically, right? For let's say in a summer months, or if you have a wood in the house, it's a wood outside of the house, it would be 100% muksa. You're not allowed to touch it. And eggs also would be muksa. Maybe not muksa. I don't know. Eggs is not muksa because you can use it for other things, right? Okay. You can use eggs to crack a nut, for example, right? You have a nut, so you can crack it with the eggs. Okay, continue. But by contrast, a person who is idly cuts paper into the precise shapes, squares, precise squares, or cuts wood to a precise measure in order to become proficient in this task, has not violated the melacha of cutting, since this act was not intended to make cut object usable. So here it's not for constructive purpose, even though they are cut for a specific size, right? But the person who cuts them is not it's not planning on using them. Okay, so B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to say that is prohibited rabbinically. As example, I was given that somebody's playing with a napkin on Shabbat. So like one time, right? So we bought these napkins many years ago, and like fancy schmancy and napkins in like over Shabbos, and it was like all of this like beautiful picture. And it was like very expensive. So my wife said we have to buy it like over Shabbos, and we bought it. So so the colors do not change and everything good quality until like I saw this guy. We have this guest, and he started ripping the napkin. I said, "Oh, I stopped it," but he put it back, right? And then he took again. So I said, "Okay, give it to me." So basically he was sitting without napkin. Yeah, you understand? That's the issue. So even these napkins, like even you yourself careful, your family is careful. So the best thing to buy plain ones, no shapes, no writing, just plain ones. So you could be safe. Okay.
Rabbi,
yes.
but if you don't completely separate the napkin, but just make small tears,
exactly.
it's not a problem.
No, it's not the problem.
And why not just get those napkins that they use at restaurants, which don't tear bechal, which are like kind of like towels?
Yeah. I mean, the reason is they're much more expensive.
Got it.
Of course, that's amazing thing. Or like the towels, so you have to wash them.
Yeah.
Oh, we had those. Oh, yeah. So it's a problem if somebody would wipe their greasy hands. It's a big deal to wash them. With all of this food. No. It's stain. Okay, all right. We actually got them. White ones on Pesach. So now people allow. So it was bad idea. So they put all of the guests who put them on their lap and use like regular napkins. No more fancy schmancy. Okay. All right. Unless you know the guests and they're very careful, then you can use. There is no problem. Understand? Okay. So continue. Rabbinic prohibition. Although cutting without particular use in mind does not violate biblical prohibition of cutting, it is prohibited under rabbinical law. One who idly cuts the object into precisely sized pieces has transgressed rabbinical law. so precisely cut pieces. But he has nothing like nothing on the mind that I want to use it for this or for that. Okay, so continue. So let me see how long is can we finish? C. Employing an unusual method of cutting. The Torah requirements concern the methods of cutting. One transgresses the Torah prohibition of cutting only if the act of cutting is performed in its usual manner. This, of course, changes according to the circumstances. Where the item in question is generally cut with an implement such as knife, one violates the melacha only if he employs an implement or a scissors, right? But not where he tears it apart by hand. Where, however, the item is generally torn apart by hand, he transgresses even if he tears it in this manner. Okay. Thus, one who tears a piece of aluminum foil to a specific size by hand has transgressed the Torah prohibition. I mean, that's how we usually tear. But there is, I mean, today's invention, I don't know how, when first appeared on the market, this, what was it, tinfoil sheets, right? I mean, they're already pre-cut and very, very, very convenient to use.
Rabbi,
Yes.
if you just do two abundance, meaning, for example, let's say I have a napkin, right, which people usually tear with the hands, correct? And I tear it to no specific size at all, and I tear it with a knife. Do I get any prohibition? Do I even get abundance or no?
No, I don't think so. No. If I don't think so, but I mean, it looks like always. It looks like you're doing something wrong. So even some things, I'm just guessing. If it's not clearly forbidden, for example, like example that you said, so it might be forbidden under prohibition of maris ayin. So maris ayin is the way it looks like to other people. You understand? So even though it's not forbidden because you don't do melacha, it's too many like doubts, too many levels removed, but still it's not allowed because other people would not get. So it's not a regular way of cutting and stuff like that. You understand? So still we don't do it in this way. Okay. Okay. So let's finish with this aluminum foil. Thus, one who tears a piece of aluminum foil to specific size by hand has transgressed Torah prohibition. For this is the usual way of cutting an aluminum foil. By contrast, tearing a piece of cloth to specific size by hand is does not violate Torah prohibition, since the cloth is generally cut with scissors. Okay, that's a good example. Okay, but is it allowed? No, it's not. Rabbinic prohibition. Although cut in an unusual manner does not violate biblical prohibition against cutting, it is prohibited under rabbinic law. Therefore, one who cuts any item to a specific size, even if he employs the unusual methods, has transgressed the rabbinic decree. So if he needs a piece of cloth and he has an old rug and he wants to cut piece of rug to white, whatever, something, right? So still, when he cuts like even randomly, the way I see it, that's what he wants. That's what he has a spot where something was spilled and he needs this much piece of rug to clean up the mess. So it's almost like a specific size. Any question?
Yes. What's the usual way for something that is usually never cut, such as those napkins that I told you about, the restaurant napkins? Nobody cuts those napkins. So what is it? What's the usual way? Knife, hands?
No. I would say usual way is to tear with a hand.
But those you can't tear with the hand.
Oh yeah. I apologize. No. I apologize. No, I forgot. I am meant something else. So this material, right? This fabric napkins. That's what. So basically, we don't cut them. I think it's not so easy to cut them. So the regular way would be with scissors. Okay. Even with a knife, it's not so convenient. They usually like from a stronger material. But scissors, yeah, go ahead.
So just to be clear, if I do it the regular way, right, but for no purpose, okay, what's it called? I get a deraisa or no?
No.
I have to follow all the conditions.
No, rabbinical.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm saying over here there's A, B, C, and D. I'm saying I have to do all A, B, C, and D to get a deraisa?
Yes, correct, yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so let's read. I don't remember the rabbinical. So one more time. Although cutting in an unusual manner does not violate the biblical prohibition against cutting, it is prohibited under rabbinical law. Therefore, one who cuts any item to a specific size, even if he employs the unusual method, has transgressed the rabbinic decree. So very, very, very clearly they say. Specific size is what you need. That's a specific size. Unusual method, rabbinic. So this napkins that David was talking about. So unusual manner would be like by hand. I know you have to be strong man to carry it by hand, but that would be unusual manner. Okay. D, which is the last condition. It must be detached object. So as David asked before, so if it's not completely detached, so that's of course, I mean, it's not usable, basically. The final requirements concern the type of the object that is cut, is that the object is cut, period, sorry. The melacha of cutting applies only where the person cuts an object that is not attached to the ground. Or to the living creature. So now they clarify, even though we said it before, right? One who cuts an object that is attached to the ground or to the living creature, for example, the hair of the person's head, even if he cuts it with a specific side, is not violated the melacha of cutting. Although he might be violating other melachas, right? Of course, we know this plucking, right? Continue. Yeah.
Is the leaf of the branch considered growing from the ground or no?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
So it's not considered a malach in that case.
In this case, no. But as we said before, it's different. They just give example. I mean, it's for visual. I think it was perfect example. But technically, I mean, we know that it's different melachas. So.
Understood.
Okay. So number 4, melacha applies to the hard and soft materials. The melacha of cutting applies to any at all types of materials, whether rigid or pliable. Okay, so it doesn't matter. It differs in this way from the melacha of tearing, Korea, right? Tearing, which applies only to the pliable material, such as paper and cloth. So those, just to remind, the tearing and cutting, two separate things. So
I have something here. I have an example and a question. The example is, I was cutting the other day the grass, cutting vegetation. If you cut the grass in the backyard on Erev Shabbos, is that a melacha?
When you cut on Erev Shabbos?
Yes, because it would be growing on Shabbos, I think. I'm not sure.
No, you're right. You're right. It's a good question.
Also nails. If you cut before
nails. Yeah, no, you're right. I think, okay, so let's go from let's start from with the nails, because nails we know for sure. Even though you're right, 100%, they're going to grow on the ground on the Shabbos, but it's not our intention. You understand? So it's maybe they're going to start, maybe not. Most likely they will. So they say there is no problem. You can do it on Erev Shabbos, and they say even preferable do it afternoon. So if you do it on Shabbos afternoon, that's for sure. You show that it's preparation of Shabbos. It's not like they bother me or something. So I would say I'm guessing it's my logical derivation. So you can apply the same logic for grass. So you're not. We say in order not to promote, so we cannot promote the growing of the things, right? It's how we can promote. You can put fertilizer, you can put water, right? You can water the grass, then it's going to grow better. But just because you cut it, right? You don't do any active milacha on Shabbos. You understand? So when you watering with a water fountain, with a water hose, when you water, of course, you do something milach on Shabbos and you promote growing. When you put some fertilizer, of course, you're doing some on Shabbos that promote growing. When you cut before Shabbos, 100%, it's going to start growing more on Shabbos. There's nobody arguing with that, but you're not doing it on Shabbos. That's why it would be allowed.
I ask this because I heard some time ago, a long time ago, that certain activities are forbidden even on Erev Shabbos because things are gonna grow on Shabbos. But I'm not sure if that is a midat hasidut.
No, okay. So what we said before. What we said before about I think you heard in this class. So if I remember correctly, right? So we were talking about the seeds that go into the ground, and it says that the seeds start germinate, right, on the third day. So even if it went on Shabbos and start and it's went into the ground. And somehow it's got water, all these things. Let's say, right? So and it started growing, not growing, germinating, right? Like germinating is like rotting, right? That's the first process of growing. Then retroactively, this person is going to be considered as he did it on Shabbos, because it was the first step is to put the seed into the ground. Right, but seed on the ground, if it's not going to grow, for example, if you put the seed into the sand or on asphalt or in a cement, it's not going to grow. It's you can put many seeds, but if you put the seed in some soil that can produce something, right, and plus it starts germinating. So even though retroactively it's going to be as person did melach on Shabbos.
So the conclusion, it would be not recommendable to water the grass on the backyard and cut the grass on Erev Shabbos?
So you can listen. Just to go back, step back. So you're allowed to water on Shabbos if you have a sprinkle. You know, there is on a timer, and it's like a start moving around and sprinkle automatically. There is no problem. I mean, if everybody knows that, if the whole, I mean. Today there is no problem. Nobody turning them manually. Everybody have this timer. So I don't know, 6:30 in the morning, I started growing, right? Or 5:30, whatever, and 7:30 at night, right? So that's my schedule. So I'm not turning anything on Shabbos. So it would be allowed to basically, but some people are trying to be stringent and they don't they shut off completely.
But so it is possible to be not stringent, and I am not going to violate a biblical prohibition.
No. If you, I mean, you need to give me an example of what you're talking about. But basically, if you did activities, if you preset everything before Shabbos, and it goes automatically on Shabbos, there is no problem.
Okay.
Like you, I would say the simple example, when you turn on light, right? You do it before Shabbos, but you use this light on Shabbos, right? There's no problem whatsoever. Or you left you left the flame right on the stove, right? You did it before Shabbos, but you're allowed to use this flame on Shabbos. There is no violation. You understand? Okay. Okay, so number 4, I don't remember if you said. So number 4, Melacha apply to hard. So no, we said okay. Pliable. So basically, cutting is for soft and hard material, right? Rigid, and reaping is only for Melacha tirin, not tirin. Tirin is only for soft materials. Okay, so let's part number 5. Cutting food items. The melacha of cutting does not apply to food items. One is permitted to cut items of food to a specific size on Shabbos. See Shabbos kitchen, so there is no. However, one is forbidden under the melacha of measuring to measure food items before cutting them. Similarly, cutting food items into the measuring meaningful characters or shape might violate the transgression of the prohibition against writing. Okay, so basically cutting food, there is no problem, but you cannot measure. So measure is what is a measure? So you're not allowed to use, for example, scales, right? On Shabbos we don't use scales, we cannot measure. So whatever is it, but if you want to cut pieces of chicken, there is no problem. Okay. So I think we can stop here and go into questions because it's a long session. All right. Go ahead. Any questions?
Yes. Okay. So the first thing is, I'm not sure. Let's say I said Bori Pri Hadama on what's it called? On some Mazonis, okay? And I want to fix my bracha, okay? I want to fix it. And so I'm not sure if I fixed it in 2 seconds or 5 seconds or how long the interruption was. Do I still eat the food or no?
Yes.
But I eat, maybe I just eat a small piece, not a kazayas, just to, for it not to be in vain. Do I do that or do I eat as much?
Okay, all right, okay. So here's a big formula, like very important formula to remember about all of these things that you're asking. So is my statement is true or not? So after the fact, did it say something true or not? So after the fact, when they say that this on mizones that it grow that it's grown from the ground, of course it grows from the ground. You understand? Or you said it on apple after the fact. So you're not you did not lie basically.
So after the after the fact on ha'adama on mazonis, if I said ha'adama, I'm okay. I can eat it.
Yes.
Understood. Even candy, does it work on candy too? Or ha'adama should work on anything?
But candy is made like most of the candy. Let's say that they're made of sugar. So sugar like it was processed. So on sugar we say shechako, so it's not true. So if you say, for example, on banana, if you have you say shechako, but by whose word everything came into being. So after the fact, it is good. You don't have to repeat it.
Understood.
Because like as I told you, the formula is at the end of the day, is it true? Whatever I said, is it true or not? So it is true.
Well, let's say as a general rule, because we know if I'm not sure if I made the bracha or not made the bracha, so on and so forth. I eat. Long story short, I eat.
No. We never said that.
If I'm not okay, if I'm not sure, if I said what's it called? If there was too big of an interruption, we'll go with that. Let's say I said bracha to HaShem. 8 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever passed, I said the end of it, okay? I'm pretty sure that's a psak in what's it called, in the book that we're doing on Fridays, actually.
So if you one second, step back. So you're given 2 different scenarios, so 3 or 5. So if he was quiet all of this time, it is true, there is opinion if he was absolutely silent, so he can eat it. But if he spoke, so that's interruption, he must make a new bracha. If he does not remember he said bracha or not, he's not allowed to eat. So don't mix the scenarios.
Got it. Okay, so let's say we're going with the b'diavad scenarios, okay? With the b'diavad, okay?
Yes, yes.
With the b'diavad scenarios, is it best to just eat less than a kazayas, just eat a very small amount so that the bracha works? That's all, just so that the bracha was for.
Okay, so let me explain something. So those are two separate things. Bracha rishona and bracha achrona. Bracha rishona is the first bracha. Bracha achrona is the second bracha. So, for example, if you ate even let's say you said that wrong bracha, right? On the first one, wrong bracha, but the end bracha. So you say correct one. There is not, they're two separate things. And even if you forgot, did I say bracha? I did not, and you can continue eating for whatever reason, right? So you always say the end bracha. So, but in order to say the end bracha, you have to eat minimum requirement. So not to eat a minimum requirement, it's actually in my mind, it's much worse than than to eat the full kazais.
Because what I'm saying as the problem is that, let's say one pasuk says b'diavad it's okay, right? He says it's okay, 99 says it's not, okay? So I'm saying the reason you eat a small amount is that just because for that one pasuk, at least one pasuk says you didn't do a bracha in bay, number one. And number two, if I eat more than that, let's say I eat, I don't know, 1/1,000,000th of kazayas, okay, whatever it was. If I have more than that, anything that I have less than a kazayas even, right? The problem is, according to 99 other poskim, I'm eating without a bracha. So I'm saying, what do I do about that? Maybe I just eat a small piece not to fall into that.
Exactly. So, okay, so now we go into a different scenario. So if you're not sure if your bracha is good, this and that, so you have to make a bracha on something that was not in front of you, that would be in the same bracha category. Right, so if you ate, if you start drinking coffee or tea, whatever you're drinking, you're not sure did they say, they did not say, so you stop right there. Don't go into all of the doubts. Don't go into these b'diavad. So find something that was not included in the bracha. Take a piece of candy. Take I don't know, whatever, milk. I don't know, something that was not covered. Take a piece of cheese. Take a piece of I don't know, fish or whatever it takes, and say make shechakol on this piece of fish, and keep in mind that it should cover my coffee also. If I did not make a bracha on the coffee, let it be covered with my fish. If not, let it cover only my fish. There is no problem. So you're not allowed in the case of the doubt, unless you don't have anything to it. You're somewhere in a, I don't know, in a remote place, right? Somewhere in the mountains, in the forest. That's all you have. So you, in this case, you can go by lenient opinion. Whatever minority, I mean, it's not minority, but the lenient opinion, you're allowed to finish. But if you have something to fix it, to fix with, you're not allowed to eat.
So what's it called? Is your solution still true if I'm in a cafeteria? Because if I'm in a cafeteria and I make shackle on milk, I make my shackle covers all the other things that are also shackle over there. Because right away we assume that the kavan is on all the other shackle.
Of course.
So what do I do in this case? I have no choice, pretty much.
Oh, so you go back to the guy and ask him for something extra. Usually you don't do that. So this extra was not in front of you, and you did not have in mind to eat it or drink it. So it was not included in this bracha.
So if, let's say for Malava Malka, someone asks me, I tell them I want a piece of matzah, right? And they bring me this and that and so on and so forth. I have to make another bracha?
No. You see, this is exception. Whatever you just asked me is exception. I don't want anybody to confuse two examples. So bread, matzah is a bread. For Ashkenazim, all year around, on matzah we have chamoitze. Sephardim on make mizoynes on all year around, and only on Pesach they do chamoitze. You understand? So since it's like bread, it covers almost everything except the dessert, unless it was planned, unless it's part of your meal. So everything that is covered, even if you don't know that that what was coming. For example, when you're a guest in somebody else's house, you have no idea what else is covered with your bracha. You're saying you just guess it's for first course. You don't know what else is coming, but automatically, since you guessed and you like in your mind, like everything that they're going to bring me is covered. So that's guess. It's a separate paragraph in that book. Yeah.
See, I agree. The thing is that because in that case, right, in the case that you mentioned, the kavanah always is, hey, they're going to bring me more food, so my bracha goes on that other food, correct?
Yes, correct.
In my case, I Dafka asked, I just want a piece of matzah, and then they bring me this and that and so on and so forth. Do I have to make
No, but piece of matzah is a meal, right? So you make hamotzi, and everything that comes with the meal is covered by matzah.
Even though I didn't have kavanah for everything.
Yes, 100%. That's exactly what I said. Correct.
Even if I had kavanah, what if I had kavanah dafka that's not going on my meal? I don't want this. I don't want that.
Okay, all right. Now you go into different. Yes. So if he said, okay, so your question, the classic example that you asked is the guy's on a diet. He's 300 pounds overweight, so he wants to get on a diet. I say, I'm going to eat this piece of matzah or piece of challah and a little potato and three tomato, and that's it. I'm on the diet. That's all. So in this case, you're at 100%. So the rest of the food is not covered. He has explicit intention, right? Kavanah in his head to exclude all other foods, 100%. So whatever they bring extra, and his wife baked him, and I cooked all night and this and that. So and he in this case he would need to make another bracha. Correct.
Understood. Okay. I don't think we need a halachas and brachas class on Friday after this. Yeah. Okay.
There are much more details, so stay tuned. Try to please, guys, try to attend this halachas or brachas. And Baruch Hashem, I went through this book several times and through other books, and still and unless you're going in circles from time to time, these things as too many scenarios, too many cases to remember. All right. Any other questions?
Yes.
Or yeah. Well, let him ask if he has. Or you have any question? Okay, no problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now, a lot of times you might say something, and someone might not like it. So they ask, "Hey, you think you have the best? You think you have good midas too?" What do you say in that situation? Because you say, "Yeah, I have good midas." It doesn't look good if you say, "Yes, I have good midas." So what are you going to say? No, and then you prove his point. So what do you say in that situation?
I missed the beginning. So so you say something. So the guy did not like, and he said what?
He said what? You think you have good midas, right?
But what is the situation? Can you give me specific?
Okay. Let's say let's say some people, they talk too much about nonsense. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or they daven too fast. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you say, look, these people are davening too fast, right? You're not talking about
no. Who? But let's say it might be Lashon Hora, but who are you talking to?
I'm giving general people, no names, no nothing.
Okay, right.
Got it. So but a group of people, right? Just in general.
So you say something. I don't like when people are daven too fast. Okay, that's general statement, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Well, what's it called? And sometimes, for example, let's say you're talking about some yeshiva bakram, right? These bakram in yeshiva, you don't name which bakram, and there's some bakram who obviously there has to be at least 1 or 5 bakram that daven okay, right? So he doesn't even know which bakram you're talking about in a chashva yeshiva.
You see, the thing is, if they can deduce the next time, okay, I want to go to mincha with you, and now he's praised, and he finished the first paragraph, and see these 3 guys, they taken 3 steps back. They just finished. So they can figure out who you're talking about. So it's not good to it's like it would be lashon hara. So it's not for constructive purpose, basically.
Understood. But bottom line, okay, he says, well, you think you have good midas because he's trying to back up these people, right? Okay. So what do you say in that case? Because if you say yes, right, you say yes, I have good midas. That's a problem in and of itself, right? And if you say no,
what is it? What it have to do with good midas? That's what Shulchan Aruch says. No, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure about me. I'm still working, but for sure Shulchan Aruch does. Yeah, Rabbi Yosef Kar. Yeah, he does. You understand? And by the way, if you think that he's wrong, he was learning with angel. They have that documentary of how he was learning with the angel, right? So it says in Pirkei Avos when so a person should be always be ready to blacken the teeth of all of these ignoramus and all of these brazen people.
Understood.
So when you see somebody's brazen and it's not about the point that he would not ask you what exactly they say, please tell me, maybe I'm wrong and stuff like that. So that's what he is trying to put him back, push back.
And last thing about Shabbos, when does Maris Ayin start? 5 minutes, 10 minutes before Shabbos. When does it start?
Is one word?
When it looks like you're doing a malach on Shabbos, before Shabbos.
Okay, so it's basically so. Okay, so let me repeat this question so we all understand. So the question is, where is Maris Ayin? Maris Ayin when people would look at that person and suspect that he's doing something forbidden. So it's basically it goes from community to community. For example, if it's one shul around there, right, and he goes to the further shul, I don't know, like half an hour walk, let's say, and there is one the local one is 5 minutes walk. So and these people start early, and those people start late. So when everybody like go to shul and he's still driving, right, or they coming from shul, okay, what else? They in the middle of the davening, everybody knows the davening started 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, and he's still driving and does all of these things. So it's for sure it's Maris Ayin. So even though it's not Shabbos yet, I'm talking about summer months, right? So some people, some shuls they would accept Shabbos at 7 p.m., right? But actual Zman is 8:30. So around me, like I don't know, 35 minutes walk, I would say shul. They always, absolutely always accept Shabbos on time. So they don't do early time. For whatever, it doesn't matter why. So, okay, so even these people in my local shul already finished, but people did not start yet. You understand? But how do they know that I'm going to walk like 35, 40 minutes? You understand? So for them, it looks like I'm Michal Shabbos.
Understood. Okay, thank
But
you.
that's a good reason. All right, we stop here. Any question, Israel?
I have one about making tea on Shabbos. The example is you have the steel sheet and you leave a big pot of water before sunset. So
Yes.
that's until the next day on full Shabbos.
Yes.
Can you
yes.
prepare the tea with a soup spoon using the third vessel method without making any transgressions? That is the question.
Okay, so we're talking about tea, right?
Yes.
Okay, so first thing, so I want since you asked this question, so I want to give complete answer. So first of all, if you can even put the raw water before Shabbos, so that does not have to be cooked when the Shabbos starts. So if you're not planning to drink it today, right, for Friday night, and you only want it like during the night, you like to drink tea or in the morning for the whole next day, so there is no problem, right? So you can put even raw water and it's going to cook, there is no problem. Okay, so now we're talking about making tea. So here's a main difference between Ashkenazim and Sephardim, right? In making tea. So for Ashkenazim, we don't make tea like from the tea bag or from dry leaves, basically. We don't make. What we said, we prepare tea essence, So you put like a small teapot, you put tea bags or tea leaves, whatever you do, you put a water, and it's very strong, very concentrated. And then on Shabbos, you just put a little of this and a lot of hot water, and basically you have this tea. That's Ashkenazic type of tea, that's what we make. But Sephardic style, according to Rabbi Zatzal, so they make a tea in a third vessel. In a third vessel, meaning you have an urn or you have this pot sitting on a stove, so it's a first vessel. Then you put it in another cup, so it's a second vessel. And you pour in another cup, so you put the tea bag, and then the third cup, second cup basically, but third vessel. Pot 1, second cup, first cup 2, and the second cup is 3. So you put there, and there is no problem. There is no melach of cooking according to Sephardic tradition. According to Ashkenazic tradition, it's still going to cook. Okay. Any other questions?
That's all. Thank you.
All right. Israel, you good?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. So thank you very much. Good night. Until tomorrow, same time. Israel HaShem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
אני מברך את הרבנים, רגע, אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בישועות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל מה שיפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכו לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה, איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה.
במיימי. כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית.
חזק אותו בשמי.
קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה. אני